Dallas and Curtis Axel are back together after being recruited by Miz to be his bears. I guess this just proves in terms of motivational posters, cats don't do the trick. However, crippling fear and insecurity being manipulated by an egotistical narcissist is the way to go. At the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, we saw Baron Corbin walk away with the men's briefcase. It was a match filled with death-defying high spots and vomit-inducing moments, and we are happy to report that AJ Styles did live through this moment and is still able to walk. The Money in the Bank pay-per-view also brought about the return of the Canelli, Maria and Mike. It happened. Speaking of WWE hating love, it was revealed this week that Cass was the one behind the Enzo attacks. We here at WWE's Most Ridiculous would like to extend our condolences to Enzo Amore. And in a similar vein, we here at WWE's Most Ridiculous would like to introduce our latest service, Amsterdam's SIA hotline. I think it's well documented by now. We have the power. In the meantime, we'd like to remind you that Glow is now available on Netflix. So sit back, relax, and get online and start petitioning for me to play Alison Brie's sister in Season 2. We'll be back later. Seth Rollins was announced this week to be gracing the cover of WWE2K18. This high honor was accompanied by footage released. Some might call it an ad, some might call it future evidence. Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins addresses the crowd. He explains how he had every worldly possession he could possibly ever want, gaining a lot of sympathy from all of us, I'm sure. That was never enough for him. We gave him a second chance, and that means more to him than any material possession in the world. Now, as lovely as this whole speech was, as happy as we are for Seth Rollins to be on the cover of 2K18, we here at WWE's Most Ridiculous can't help but feel maybe there's something a little strange going on. Conspiracy. Seth Rollins, split personality or just really diverse? 1 minute, he's baby-facing with Ambrose at house shows. He's out there thanking the crowd, sharing his monumentous cover with all of us. On the flip side of the coin, it's tagging with Roman Reigns, who's not a good guy, he's not a bad guy. But he definitely is acting like some kind of a douche. And here he is sharing this monumentous cover with all of us. But is that really an act of generosity? Or is this just admissible evidence when it comes to his trial? And maybe the scar he received this week on Raw is some kind of a totem, an identifier in this Rawception, just like Batman in the Night. We'll be watching Seth. At WWE's Great Balls of Fire, Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns is gonna be an ambulance match. As beautiful as the sentiment is, we can't help but think that maybe there's going to be a bit more to this ambulance match. Look at the facts. Braun Strowman, supposed to be out for months, already driving ambulances into arenas and roaring all over the place, versus Roman Reigns, WWE's supposed superhero. There's a very real possibility we're getting a Transformers match. Or maybe it's more Game of Thrones style, the Starks versus the Lannisters, an army of nurses and medical professionals fighting for them. Or what if Braun's extremely fast recovery time was aided by the help of science? What if the skin grafts, the DNA, the cells used to fuse his arm back together, what if they were taken from another body? What if that body happened to be owned by someone on the darker side of things? I never thought I wanted Leatherface to win. On the next SmackDown Live, there'll be a rematch for Miss Money in the Bank. Some might say, what was the point in the first place? Some might be disgusted by Hogsmella's acts. Some might be disgusted that Carmella is being cheated out of the briefcase. No matter where you sit on this issue, there is one thing that we all need to be aware of. WWE rewrites history. This conspiracy goes all the way back to 1985 WrestleMania. 33 years later, the history books document that Hulk Hogan was the one to win with the pin. No, ladies and gentlemen, the main event of the first WrestleMania was actually won by Brutus Beefcake. Dissatisfied by the no contest result earlier in the night, Brutus was back with vengeance, climbed into the ring, dove over Mr. T, and knocked Hulk Hogan out to win. It wasn't until hours later when they regained their composure that they decided to restart the match, and Hulk Hogan delivered with the documented finish. And it's not just match results. The Brood was originally just a gang of emos coming to disrupt the system. For years in WCW, Sting was actually just Sting the Singer until he decided to quit, but WCW didn't want to give that up, so they brought in Steve Borden, and thus, the Avenger was born. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but this is a conspiracy that is not going to stop. Now, there are some things that history just cannot erase. The Undertaker will forever have tried to ceremoniously and satanically marry Steph McMahon against her will. Santino Marella will forever be the first Miss WrestleMania. Who knows, maybe someday China will just be the market that they try to break into. History can be manipulated. Maybe if we start now, we can prevent future conversations with our children explaining, no, Roman Reigns wasn't actually the first Universal Champion. PSA sponsored by Nads.